Hey there, Alex Kidman here, and today I'm taking a look at the Wyze Cam V3 Pro, that's this little cube right here, and the Wyze Cam Pan, that's this double cube right here. They're both security cameras with the particular selling point that they're quite inexpensive. So the Wyze Cam Pan will run you around $70 Australian at the time of writing, and the V3 Pro will run you around $100. And in terms of smart home security cameras, that's relatively inexpensive. But of course, when anything's this cheap, you've got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Well, let's take a look. So on the design side, as mentioned, Wyze obviously loves a cube. These are small cubes on stands. The Pan is a double cube because it's got a rotating motor that allows it to obviously pan and tilt around and track objects, where the V3 Pro doesn't. They're both suitable for mounting, and look, it kind of comes down to what you want out of a camera. I like the design. I think it's nicely inconspicuous. You can put it in places where it's not so obvious, not so evident you've got a camera there. But obviously, some people will prefer a camera that looks more like a camera, that's going to say to a burglar, hey, I'm a camera, don't come here. So, yeah, horses for courses, I guess. Both are USB powered. They're still only just micro USB. Here, the Pan and the V3 Pro do have a point of difference because the V3 Pro's USB plug, it's a pretty regular kind of thing. I reckon if and when it breaks over time, you'd be able to replace it with just about any other cable. The Pan, however, has this odd shape on the base. I think that's going to be a little bit tougher over time. Both are IP rated as well, so they should be suitable for outdoor use, although obviously if you buried them in snow or rain or whatever, yeah, they might stop working then, especially at this price. As is the case with just about every simple smart home camera, there's an app. It's called the Wyze app, of course, and usually with these things I will have one point or another where I struggle to get the installation to work. And that just wasn't the story here. The app itself generates a little QR code, you show that to the camera, it chimes, it talks to you. The whole process was really very, very simple. I was quite impressed. The app itself does most of the regular things that you'd expect. It will send you alerts when motion is detected. It will control itself. You can set rules and things like that. So, for example, when you're home and you don't necessarily want it telling you, hey, I saw a person all the time, yeah, you can tell it you're home. So what's the difference between the two of them? Well, the smaller V3 Pro supports up to 2K video with smart focusing and an integrated spotlight, while the Wyze Cam Pan is 1080p only, but has obviously those panning features, that ability to move around a scene a fair bit more. It's also obviously a little bit cheaper. Object tracking on the Pan camera is actually pretty good, although if you do put it near where you're going to work, you are going to want to tell it you're home, because having it whir around while I've been working, yeah, that's not been quite so great. Having it out of my carport watching the world, well, that's been a bit more interesting. In terms of storage, either camera can use micro SD cards. One is not supplied, so you need to budget for one, or cloud-based storage. And here subscription raises its ugly head, although Wyze is a little bit more generous than some. If you don't want to pay the subscription fee, then it will take simple still shots and give you motion alerts for nothing. However, you only get one still shot every 5 minutes, which is kind of limiting. I mean, the amount of damage could be done to a property in 5 minutes is pretty extensive, if you follow me. The subscription price is pretty simple too. US $1.99 a month or $19.99 a year, giving you a little bit of a discount if you pay for a year in advance. That keys up to about $3 Australian at current conversion rates per month. Not super expensive. And for that, you get 14 days of cloud-based storage for unlimited events, as well as motion, people, sound, person, package, vehicle, and pet detection. Quite a lot of AI going on in the background there. But I do think that for these to really make sense, you should probably budget for that subscription, because without it, it works, but it's kind of limited. What about video quality? Well, I'll switch over to the cameras now just to give you an idea of what they can capture. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to show where I've actually been using these for security, but this is me. This is me talking into the V3 Pro cam, so that's the 2K quality. Let's switch over to the Pan cam, which has, of course, slightly lower quality. Okay, so this is the Pan cam. Lower quality, of course, and neither is anything that you're going to want to use for anything but security purposes, but then that's exactly what they're for. And at this price, you can't expect too much. It's perfectly decent pickup for what it is, and it's workable enough to identify people, or if you pay for the additional subscription, other items such as text and so on. So all of this points to the Wyze cameras being decent value, but there is a catch. And the catch, and to be fair, this isn't 100% specific only to Wyze, is that you have to weigh up the actual security and likely support life of each of the cameras themselves. Put simply, the problem with this category is that over time, every single manufacturer tends to stop supporting its older cameras. Developing security patches needed to keep them secure costs money, and over time they all just tend to abandon older models that they're no longer selling. And that's if they even bother to notify you that the cameras are in fact in a place where they might be compromised. And look, sadly, Wyze has poor form in this, having previously shelved an older camera model, not these two, but an older model, and really taking an age to come clean with the fact that it wasn't supporting them, that there were significant security flaws. You have to weigh that up. Now, to be fair, these cameras are pretty much new. Wyze hopefully has learned from its lessons, and there is that balancing point of, look, they're inexpensive. What do you expect for that kind of money to put in there? But it would be irresponsible of me to ignore that this is an issue with this entire category, including these cameras. So would I suggest that you buy the Wyze Cam V3 Pro or Wyze Cam Pan? Yeah, look, if you're in this space, if you're interested in this space, I think they're fairly good. The V3 Pro obviously has better video, but the lower price of the Pan and its panning features, I think actually makes it the budget play to go for if you're looking for security on a budget. You do have to keep in mind how long the cameras might be supported for. You do have to make sure that you are updating them when fresh security patches become available. And I do think you are probably going to end up paying that subscription tier to get the most out of these cameras. Anyway, that's my take on the Wyze Cam Pan and the V3 Pro. What do you think? Got any questions? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks as always for watching all the way through to the end. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.